Tragic details of a teenage girl's desperate 000 phone call have been revealed after her father and brother were in a landslide. A teenage girl made a heartbreaking 000 phone call after her 9-year-old brother and their 49-year-old father were by a freak landslide in the NSW Blue Mountains. The British family of 5, including a husband, wife and 3 children, were holidaying in Australia when tragedy struck about 1:40 p.m. on Monday at Wentworth Pass. The family's eldest child, a 15-year-old girl, escaped uninjured, and it was her 000 call that prompted a rescue operation late into the night. "I don't know where we are," she reportedly told emergency services. A rescue helicopter winched the first body from bushland about 9:20 a.m. on Tuesday. A second, smaller body was recovered from the same area about 10 minutes later. 2 people are after a group of bushwalkers fell over a cliff in the Blue Mountains. The girl was able to make the 90-minute hike back to safety with the assistance of emergency services. Rescue crews said she was extremely distressed and treated for shock at the scene. She is being cared for at the Children's Hospital at Westmead. The 50-year-old mother and her 14-year-old son remain in a critical condition after they suffered significant head and abdominal injuries during the landslide. They were winched from the remote area just before 6 p.m. on Monday and flown to hospital. Acting NSW Police Superintendent John Nelson gave a brief update about the tragedy on radio station 2 GB on Tuesday morning. "The daughter is in shock, in hospital at the moment, so we are focused on caring for her and just trying to get that support for her," he said. The incident unfolded in the Blue Mountains on Monday. Picture, 7 News. NSW National Parks confirmed in a statement on Tuesday morning that the walking track was inspected just days before the landslide as part of a routine assessment program. The assessments are carried out to ensure that track infrastructure is maintained to the greatest extent practicable. Unfortunately, it is not possible to predict and eliminate all natural risks such as rock slides, which can occasionally occur around the state, the statement read. NSW Premier Dominic Perrottet said he was seeking advice on whether any government action was needed after the tragedy. "My heart goes out to all the families of that tragedy," he told reporters. "Anything we can do to keep people safe, we will." Obviously, the Blue Mountains is a place where people want to go, it's one of the wonders of the world. But when these tragedies occur, it would be remiss of any government not to act. Blue Mountains tour operator Graham Chapman told 2 GB he was walking with a group in the area not long after paramedics arrived on the scene. "Brought me tears," he said. "It's the worst possible scenario as we open back up. International people are coming to our amazing country, and this tragedy has happened. I know that track very well, and it's a track that's not for the faint-hearted. It's a tough track, deep in the valley." Rescue crews have begun their 70-minute descent to the disaster site to retrieve the bodies of the father and son. "Obviously, there's been quite a lot of weather, and we've got quite some weather to come," Superintendent Nelson said. "Landslips can come at any time, so it's always an issue." The family was walking the Wentworth Pass hiking track, a historic track that runs off the national pass underneath 150 m of cliff faces. NSW ambulance helicopters worked to retrieve critically injured family members caught in a landslide. Picture, Jonathan Ing. "As you can appreciate, it's a tragic scene," Superintendent Nelson said. "In terms of the site, it's extremely dangerous and unstable, so our rescuers are working under quite arduous conditions. The 1st Special Operations and Special Casualty Access Team paramedics who did access the patient did so under extreme circumstances. The 2 critically injured patients are understood to have sustained significant head and abdominal injuries, requiring them to be sedated and intubated prior to being winched out by helicopter. This is absolutely heartbreaking for all involved and a truly tragic ending to what I'm sure was meant to be a pleasant day out," NSW Ambulance Acting Chief Superintendent Stuart Clark said. "It is terribly sad to have lost 2 lives here today, And my heart goes out to the families and the survivors of this horrific ordeal who have witnessed what is certainly a traumatic event. Multiple agencies were involved in trying to help the hikers. The NSW National Parks and Wildlife Service had on its website a major landslip had forced the closure of Kadumba Valley Road after the second gate. A bushwalker leaves the scene near the conservation hut after a landslide on a walking track at Wentworth Falls in the Blue Mountains. 2 people and critically injured another 2 people. Picture, Jonathan Ing. The National Pass was also closed due to flood damage and ongoing rockfall risk, the service said. It is unknown why the Wentworth Falls track remained open despite widespread closures across the popular tourist destination. The one thing I will say about national parks is that whenever there is any sign of danger, they are so quick to shut tracks down, Mr. Chapman told 2 Gigabytes. Officers from Blue Mountains Police Area Command have begun inquiries into the circumstances surrounding the incident. The British Consulate is working with Australian authorities to contact relatives of the family back home in the United Kingdom.